This is the method for constructing a Placket B. In Placket B, you're going to use your sleeve piece, and then you're going to use the two placket pieces. There's one that is a sort of a triangle shape, and the other one is a rectangle. And you want to fold one side on each of those pieces over 1/4 of an inch. And then you want to fold those plackets in half. And this is just to prepare the pieces for stitching onto your sleeve. So you want to attach both of the placket pieces to your sleeve, and you're going to sew them at 1/4 of an inch, and these are the sides that are not folded. On your sleeve, you want to clip into the corners at the top of the sleeve there at a 45-degree angle again, and then you're going to lay your placket underneath that part of the sleeve, and then you're going to sew the seam down from that notch 1/4 of an inch. So you're going to attach each of the plackets onto the sleeve using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And this is the side that does not have the folded edge on it on the placket. And one of the key things when you're attaching your plackets is that you want to be able to fold your placket over to the right side, and you want to be able to edge stitch it. So both of your plackets should have the folded edge from where you folded it in half going inward into the sleeve slit that's there. So once you fold them over, you can go ahead and edge stitch them on the right side. So what I'm doing here is I'm just looking at my placket, and I'm looking at the side, and I'm attaching the other placket. So I'm getting ready to attach the placket on the other side of the sleeve. And you want to be sure that when you attach the placket, that is the triangle shape, you want to make sure that the narrowest part of that placket is facing upwards into your sleeve. And there's actually a sample inside the lab showing you the wrong way for doing that, and so you can see a sample of how it shouldn't look. But the narrowest part of the placket should be going up to the top of the where the sleeve slit is. And so these are two of your plackets being attached, and that's the other side. And what you want to do is you're actually going to fold those plackets inward, which is what I'm doing here. And you want to be able to fold them over and edge stitch them. You may want to press your seam allowance also into the placket there. It might just help it lay a little flatter. So all I'm doing there is just kind of finger pressing it down, but you may want to actually use the iron to get that there. And then I'm just folding it over. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and edge stitch it. And I'm going to do that for both of the plackets. And when you're edge stitching your plackets, you want to just sew down the same way you did when you attached it. You just want to sew to that notch where you clipped into the sleeve. You don't want to go all the way down because you want to have some fabric at the top so that you can fold your placket and get your shape at the top and top stitch that down. So just remember when you're stitching and attaching the plackets and edge stitching, just to sew up to that notch on either side of the sleeve where you clipped into it at the 45-degree angle. So once you have both of your placket pieces edge stitched to your sleeve, the next thing you want to do is you want to fold your wider placket, which is the top part of the placket, over your placket underlay, which was the smaller triangular shaped piece that's underneath, which is why it's important that the narrow part is at the top. But what you want to do is take the kind of the overlay of the placket and fold it over the smaller underlay. And so see, I'm folding it there over the top of the underlay. You may need to tuck it in a little bit. There may be some raw edges hanging out, but you want to fold it enough so that you get a nice clean fold at the top and nothing is sticking out. So you see where it's folded over. In the back, you also want to flip over the placket and make sure that there's no raw edges showing. So you just want to tuck that piece in the back and make sure that it's not showing either. And try to get it as perpendicular as possible, as straight across as you can in the back before you start top stitching, because you're going to stitch over that and stitch it in place. There isn't any set width for the placket in the instructions, but I think it should probably be somewhere between 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inches in terms of the size at the top of the placket where you're going to top stitch. In terms of top stitching, it's the same recommendation as I made for Placket A. You can go at regular machine speed if you feel comfortable doing that, but it would be a good idea to walk your needle to go around the top of the placket and get the shape. For this one, you can make a square. Just go around across the top there to secure it, then go up the side, across the top, and down the side again. You can alternatively also do the kind of the cross stitching. There's a sample of that in the lab where you make the X. So you can do that as well if you feel that you want to make one, but I'm only requiring that you do the square to top stitch your placket. And same as Placket A, once you're done top stitching, you're finished constructing your placket. So here what I'm doing is actually starting to do the cross stitch at the top of the placket, and like I said, you don't have to do this, but if you would like to